And we're taking it back to the shooting, the school shooting in Georgia, where the shooter had been identified as 14-year-old student Colt Gray, who has been taken into custody and be charged with murder as an adult. Now, the shooting resulted to the death of 4 persons, including 2 students and 2 teachers. Now, joining us to have a conversation on gun control and the laws in Nigeria, United States of America, I beg your pardon. We're joined by Global Affairs Analyst Lloyd Ukwu. Well, Lloyd, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you for doing this with us.
Is it okay?
Lloyd.
If you can tilt it down.
Well, if it's not live television, I don't know what to tell you. Let's go on a short break. We have more stories. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. Following the shooting in Georgia at the high school that resulted to 4 victims dying, 2 students and 2 teachers, we're now joined by Global Affairs Analyst Lloyd Ukwu, and he joins us to discuss U.S. gun violence crisis. Well, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Let's get started very quickly because we're pressed for time. I mean, let's start with the root causes of, U.S. gun violence and the crisis. And just really, is it a matter of no control in terms of, giving out these guns, or is this just a lack of legislation or political power or political will by the ruling power or the ruling class to be able to curb this crisis or this menace?
Thank you very much for having me again. The issue of gun violence in the United States is a very complex one with multiple factors contributing to its prevalence. Here in the United States, the right to bear arms is guaranteed by the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. If you ask me, that is the beginning of the issue of gun violence. In simple terms, the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia and to use that arm for traditionally lawful purposes such as self-defense within your home. The Second Amendment was ratified in 1791, and it allows people to protect themselves. But here are some of the reasons why the problem continues to persist. Aside from the fact that it's grounded in their ground norm, it's grounded in the Constitution, and we don't have enough time to go into the historical perspective of that. But suffice it to say that when the first colonies settled in the United States from England, they put some of these things in place based on their past experience when they were in England. They wanted to make sure that they're protected against government intrusion. The first problem I see is easy access to firearms. Here in the United States, it's very easy for you to get firearms. You can walk into a gun store as you go, as though you're walking into a supermarket, and provide your driver's license and walk out of the store with a gun. That's what I see as the number one problem. The second problem is the mental health issue situation, where people who have mental problems, because of the ease with which you can procure these guns, oftentimes walk into these stores and buy guns. And if they have mental issues, they are more likely to misuse those guns. Then you can get into social and economic factors where you have poverty, unemployment, social inequality, and the feeling of hopelessness and frustration leading to increased violence. There's also this issue of cultural glorification of violence. You go to our movies, you go to things that happen around us, you see a lot of media and societal normalization of violence,
Then what then will be a lasting solution to this problem? Because this is what, number 47th incident in this year alone. And so what then is a solution, a lasting solution? Can the Republicans, the blue and the red, that's the Republicans and the Democrats, come together to find a lasting solution so that innocent people would stop losing their lives and people who are not fit to carry firearms cannot go in and get assault rifles and carry out such, insidious or hideous crimes?
Well, as I said earlier in the beginning, it's a very complex case, simply because of the constitutional protection of the individual's rights to carry arms. Because of the fact that it's grounded in our constitution here, it becomes difficult to do anything that will infringe on that right. Another aspect is the powerful lobby, what a group called the National Rifle Association. It is almost said that if you oppose the guns, ability for Americans to carry guns, you're almost likely to lose an election because they have a very powerful lobby that will go after you. So because the problem is, because of the complexity of the problem, you need to deal with the situation holistically. That is to say, some of the issues that I just enumerated would have to be addressed. How people go about getting their guns, how you treat people who have mental issues, how you handle the issue of the cultural glorification of violence. All of these things must come, into play before you solve the issue of gun violence in the United States. It's a very complex issue for which the Republicans are usually in support of freedom of people to carry arms. The Democrats, try to pass some laws, legislations to curb the access to guns, and the people resist it. The people want the freedom to carry their guns. So it's very complex, and I don't want to be pessimistic by saying that it's a very difficult problem to take care of here in the United States.
I wonder what that would be. I mean, when it comes to whether background checks and red flag laws are enough, to curb, and if there should be more in terms of implementation and more policies to help safeguard and just reduce situations like this. But Mr. Lloyd Ukwu, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you for doing this with us, sir.
You're welcome. Anytime.